Hello my lovelies and welcome to today's video. We are going to be going over all the movies that I watched in the last quarter and then a cheeky little extra for July, even though that wasn't one of the months that I was supposed to be talking about, but I can't not talk about it because the movie was awesome. But let's start with April, which had an equally awesome movie and actually kind of starts and finishes in this like rounded way with what I'm about to be talking about. Anyway, Sinners, 5 stars. What is better than one Michael B. Jordan? 2 Michael B. Jordans. Holy smoke, stack them up. See what I did there? Deep South meets vampires. When twins Smoke and Stack come back to their hometown with grand plans of opening a club just for people like them, they rope in their little cousin, Sammy, aka Preacher Boy, with his beautiful, soulful power over music. Music kills people. However, it also attracts monsters out of the dark. This was such a fantastic storyline with some amazing actors and a brilliant soundtrack that really moved me. Sinners showcased just how awful life still was for black people after KKK was outlawed and how terrorizers just went underground with it all and their racist supremacist thoughts. The depiction of black joy in the Dukes was so beautiful, and the moment when Sammy really let loose with that emotionally moving blues song took my breath away. I was in absolute awe. Mixing vampires, and this really was my kind of movie. The horror was executed fantastically. The racial tensions and prejudice were challenged, yet still felt very off the time, and the soul of the music was absolutely out of this world. I would have been grateful with the ending as it was, but it continued to an even more satisfying conclusion. What a beautiful piece of storytelling this was. Wholeheartedly recommend it if you haven't already seen Sinners yet. In May now, I watched one movie, and that was Renfield, which I gave a 3 out of 5 stars. This was a lot of fun. We are following, of course, Renfield, who is the tortured aide to his narcissistic boss, Dracula, of all people, and he's being forced to procure his master's prey and do his every bidding. However, after centuries of servitude, he's ready to see if there's a life outside the shadow of the Prince of Darkness. As I say, I really enjoyed this one. I did love the deeper conversation on codependency and the toxic relationships between Dracula and Renfield, and how it just took it to a whole nother level that I wasn't expecting, with almost like these AA meetings and conversations of that topic in like a real sense of the word, but with the comedy aspect of the fact that it was with a vampire, right? It just felt like a fresh take on the Dracula story, and I really did enjoy it. So in June, I watched Shreks 1 to 4, and all ratings are on Letterbox if you do want to check that out. I have my Letterbox linked in the description of all videos, so definitely scroll there and click on it and give me a follow if you would like to. But this was my first time watching quite a few of the Shrek movies, I think, and yeah, it was definitely, even though being my first time for most of them, it felt like a definite like nostalgia kick, and I really enjoyed my time. After that, I watched a new release. This was Lilo and Stitch, the live action, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I haven't seen the original many times, at least not that I can remember, and the last time is definitely when I was a child, so I went into the live action with very little memory of the actual plot and the characters. It was a really well put together experience, and the blend of the alien characters into the live acting was quite seamless. I didn't think it was jarring at all. It didn't catch my eye or snag on anything. It looked quite seamless, to be honest. The little actress who played Lilo was brilliant. She really captured the excitable and chaotic energy that I remember the original cartoon having, and the way that energy bounced off of Stitch's naughtiness was absolutely fantastic. The sisterly bond was emotional, and the message of Ohana was beautiful. I really enjoyed it, but I did miss some of the scenes that stood out in the animated original that were coming to mind, and that friends also brought up after seeing it too, like Pleakley in drag and how massive Bubbles was, and you know, the combination of him being so big and then having a name like Bubbles, and also how obsessed with Elvis Stitch became. But outside of that, it was a really enjoyable film, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I then decided to stick something on the telly called Black Adam, which unfortunately I gave a 2 out of 5. Black Adam follows a superhero, or a morally grey superhero, I guess, of the same name, who, after being granted with the divine power of the Egyptian gods and spending almost 5,000 years in a guardhouse, he's freed and decides to unloose his own style of justice to the world. This one I gave it 2 stars, and I don't really have any super strong feelings for this movie either way. I liked it being set elsewhere to America and seeing a different culture take centre stage, and a protector that wasn't all pure and righteous. I do actually feel like Dwayne Johnson portrayed that role really well. It's weird how they never actually call him Black Adam though, unless you count the end title scene. It's an odd title. Maybe they were just trying to avoid that, because I guess you could be like Black Adam, but he's not black. But you know what I mean? Like, I guess it could have gone into that. And I don't know. It's just a bit of a strange title. The Shazam connection did confuse me. I could have lived without this movie, I would say, but I'm not mad that I finally watched it. It was easy viewing, I guess you could say. I think I watched it in like two halves, but the second half was literally like the tail end of the movie, and it was while I was just chilling at home. Something that I definitely could have lived without in my life was Snow White, the 2025 live action, which unfortunately I gave a 1 out of 5. Fleeing from the evil queen, Snow White finds refuge with Dopey, Bashful, Grumpy, Sneezy, Happy, Doc, and Sleepy. When the palace guards embark on a mission to bring her back, a commoner and his group of woodland bandits band together to protect her. It does take a little bit of a spin on the classic story and retells it a little bit. Some movies are just honestly way too cringe to be made into live action, and I think this was one of them. I really thought the narrator was Gal Gadot, and then I realised, oh no, it's not, right at the very end. Anyway, this was kind of sickly cringy, and I didn't really enjoy it. Following that, a movie that was getting taken off of Netflix rather soon, I think it's gone now, but that was Missing, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. It was apparently in my watch later, and I'd completely forgotten it was in there, but it's one that I clearly enjoyed in the end. We follow June, whose mother disappears while on vacation in Colombia with her new boyfriend. So June is searching for answers and is hindered by international red tape. Stuck thousands of miles away in Los Angeles, June creatively uses all the latest technology at her fingertips to try and find her before it's too late. However, as she digs ever deeper, her digital sleuthing soon raises more questions than answers. This was one of those movies that are kind of like 2019 vibes, where, you know, everything was kind of done over Teams and like Zoom and all of that. It's one of those kind of inside the computer films, which I quite liked, honestly. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it so much. I did think that originally, like, the filming through phones and computers had its time, mainly in the 2010s, and then it had its kind of resurgence with the pandemic and lockdown and everything like that. But this really packed a punch, and it went in directions I wasn't anticipating. Our young lead actress was amazing. I think it's Storm Reid. I've definitely seen her or know her to be in other things. I think she's in, is it A Whisper in Time, which I've still not seen, and obviously various other things. I've never actually seen her acting skills beforehand, so this was quite an enjoyment. It was really addictive, tense and eerie. Definitely glad that I caught this before it was gone from Netflix, because otherwise I think I would have forgotten its existence. And then, as promised, a sneaky one from July, Kpop Demon Hunters, 5 out of 5 stars. Oh my god, where do I begin? Okay, let's start with what it's about, obviously. So this was a new release on Netflix, which everybody has been going absolutely feral crazy for, knocking the door, smashing the windows, loving. We are following a well-renowned K-pop girl group who are balancing their lives in the spotlight with their secret identities as demon hunters. This was epic. I was honestly grinning from ear to ear throughout the whole of it. The story was brilliant. It reminded me of Sinners, which is why I was saying this review video is kind of going a bit full circle, because we have the power of music protecting the world from demons and dark spirits, which is kind of like the essence of what Sinners is all about as well. I loved our three girls. They were like Sailor Moon meets Powerpuff Girls. The songs were absolutely astounding. The animation style was perfection, reminding me a little bit of like Cat Noir and Miraculous Ladybug, Turning Red, and the Barbie movies combined. The boy band was to die for. I would sell my soul for them. If you know, you know. Perfectly shows fangirl culture among it all. It was a comical movie title. You're going to be surprised at how fantastic a movie this was, because looking at the title I was like, oh my god, this is going to be so cringe. It was awesome. This would have been such a massive hit if it went to traditional cinema screenings, but with how giant Netflix is these days, I'm sure it's getting just as much love, and I have seen nothing but that, to be honest, since I've watched it. Absolutely 100% recommend if you haven't already seen it, and even if you have seen it, watch it again. Anyway, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know if you guys have watched any of the films that I've spoken about here today, and if you have any recommendations, I would love to know. But that's it from me. Thank you once again for watching, and I shall catch you in another video soon.